Alright, hello and welcome to this video training. This video is going to serve as episode number 32 of the Mblockers Friday Live training video series. And today we're going to be covering a very practical topic: how to automate your customer service using AI-powered chatbots, a step-by-step walkthrough. So I'm going to be showing you how to create a chatbot, how to train your chatbot with your knowledge base or your website information or whatever, all right, and then how to deploy it on your page, all right, so that it can actually serve as an automated customer service element you have, which can serve your customers 24/7 round the clock, all right, without holidays, without downtimes, all right, and it gives super useful responses to your customers, all right. If you're familiar with the marketing blocks interface, so we're currently on the home dashboard. So to access the AI powered bot tool, I'll just click on the create with AI button, and then I'm going to go to the AI bot builder. All right, and then I'm going to show you how to create a bot step by step, and I'm going to walk you through all of the options you have available, because this is a full-blown solution you can use to actually automate your customer service. All right, let's see how it's done. So first you click on the new AI bot button. So once you do that, it brings up this new bot creation pop-up. All right, so what you want to do is to give a name to your bot. So now this name is something you can change later, all right, but then it's simply an identification for your bot, and you can always customize it. And then secondly, you have the per bot personality. So this is where you actually have a couple number of options, all right, to actually prompt your bots to perform in a certain way. All right, we have quite a number of options here, but for the purpose of this particular training video, we're going to be picking the customer support personality. All right, so this will help us to prompt our bots to perform as a customer support rep. All right, so I'll just go ahead to give my bot a name. So I could just call it Mblockers, or rather Mblocks. Okay, I'll just call it Mblocks, and then I've chosen the customer support bot personality. So next we want to choose a data source. So before I go ahead to choose one, I'm going to try to explain how this works. So as you can see, we have three options. We have the file option, we have the website option, and we have the text option. So these are the different kind of sources you can use to train your bot. So you could either upload a file, maybe a PDF file, all right, and your bot is going to crawl through that file and learn all of the information on it, so that when a user comes to engage it, it can give it useful responses. Secondly, you could actually use your website. All right, most times your website has a lot of information about your business, and then you can use it to train your bot, so that the bot goes ahead to crawl through your website, gather all the information, learn about your business, so that when a customer or a client or a prospect, whatever the case is, comes to engage the bot can as well give it the needed information. All right, and then we have the third option, which is the text option. So with this option, you can simply just click on it and then paste any information or write any information you feel your customers may need. All right, details about any information your customers may need. So the bot is also going to learn all of this information, and it will have it in its knowledge base, so that when a customer or a client engages it, it can then go through its training to provide helpful response. So this is really flexible, and you can use any of these options, whether a PDF file, all right, or if you even click on it, you're going to see the accepted format. It could be a PDF file, it could be a doc file, it could be a TXT file, all right. And then you could also use any website. It could be your website of your business, it could be your landing page, it could be your sales page, it could even be your knowledge base, the link to your knowledge base that already has all of this information. So once you provide it to the bot is going to crawl through all the pages, learn all the information, and become the go-to resource center for your customers. All right, and then finally, again, you can use the text option. So right here, you can just type in the details or information you want the bot to know, and then the bot is going to learn all of it, and it can be the go-to resource center for your clients or customers or prospects, as the case may be. So for the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to use the website option. So I'll just click on website, and then I'm going to add a link to the Marketing Blocks website. So just give me a minute to type that in. Alright, so I'm gonna alright, so once I finish typing the website, I can go ahead to create my bot. Alright, so I need to explain something right here. I could go ahead to create my bot. As you can see, the button is now active. Right now, if I go ahead to create my bot, it simply means that the bot is going to crawl only the information on the root domain, because that's what I just entered in, marketingblocks.ai. So it's going to go ahead to crawl all of the information on the root domain. All right, but more than that, you can ask the bot to also crawl. So when it crawls, it also brings up all the sub pages. So take for instance, this is your website, right? If this is your website, you could actually crawl the About Us page, the Contact Us page. Every page linked to your website will be crawled. All right. So, but if you just wanted to crawl the basic primary page, all right, or the root domain only, you can go ahead to create your bot at this point. All right, but then if you wanted to learn everything about your business, so in case there's an About Us page, there's a Contact Us page, there's a services page, all right, there's a testimonial page, whatever, you can click on crawl for links, and it's going to go ahead to crawl through your website and to bring up a list of all the links. All right, so when it brings up that list, you can now decide, okay, I want you to crawl this, or I don't want you to crawl this. So in a couple of moments, we're going to see it's bringing up all the sub links. All right, all the sub links connected to this root domain I just gave it. So let's give it a few seconds to do that. So as you can see, just like I said, you can see that the bot has gone ahead to crawl through all of the sub links, in fact all the links that are on the website. And of course there are some invalid links, so you can go ahead to just remove all of those. All right, as you can see, it's a lot of links. So this means that the bot can actually learn everything about your business. So I'm going to try to remove some of the links I do not want on my bot. So just give me a moment to remove all of the invalid links. Of course, before you can go ahead to create your bot, you need to remove all of the invalid links. And if you still have invalid links, it's going to give you this notice right here, and this button is not going to be clickable. So I'll just go ahead to remove all of the invalid links I have. So first and foremost, I would not want it to crawl through Facebook, but definitely on my website there's a link to my Facebook profile, so that is why it actually brought that up as well. So you'd want to go ahead to remove all the maybe social media links and invalid links, so we can go ahead to create the bot. So I'll just go ahead to do that very quickly. All right, and here you can see all the invalid links, and we are done removing the invalid links. All right, so now I have only the valid links connected to my root domain. Now additionally, if you want your bot to learn from more than one website, all right, for instance, I have just marketingblocks.ai and then all the sub pages are brought up here. All right, so what I can do, I can add an additional link. So it's just to click on the add another link option. When I click on this, it's going to give me a new input box to enter in a new domain or a new link. All right, I could enter maybe something else so that it could also go ahead to crawl that. All right, but then just for the purpose of the training, I'm going to leave it at this, and I'm going to click on create bot. All right, so once I do that, I'm going to get this notification, new AI bot created successfully, and right here we have the bot. As you can see, the bot is on private, so we're going to click on the bot so we can customize further. All right, so right here we have a couple number of options. All right, we have about 7 options, and I'm going to walk you through every one of them and all the options under each of them. All right, first and foremost, to go back to the AI bots dashboard, I can click on the back button right here, and of course when you make any change, you can click on the save button right here. All right, so let's go ahead to see all of the options we have available. Okay, so first we have the project name. So like I said, the project name is something you can change at any time, and it's simply just to identify that particular bot, AI bot project. All right, so we can always maybe change this up whenever or to whatever we want. So secondly, you have the bot name or display name. So now this is the name your bot is going to be displayed as. All right, so my project name is Marketing Blogs Bot, so I could change this to Ethan. So since it's going to serve as my bot display name, as you can see right here, display name or bot name to show on the bot header and use in your instruction. So this is the name I want the bot to be displayed as to users. All right, so next you have the personality. So again, you see you can change and customize the personality choice at any time. So I could decide to change the bot personality at this point, but of course for the purpose of this training I'm going to be sticking with the customer support bot personality. All right, so the next option we have is the personality no reply message. All right, so let me explain what this is. Now your bot is trained with certain data sets or with certain amount of information. All right, so when a user comes to engage the bot and asks the bot any question, the bot is going to check through its knowledge base and provide an answer for the customer or prospect as the case may be, and this happens in a split second. But now there are cases where a customer or a prospect may come and they will ask a question which is not in the knowledge base of the bot. All right, so at that point, what do you want the bot to say? How do you want the bot to respond? So it's like a backdrop message you want the bot to give when the question it's being asked is not available in its training source. All right, I hope that is clear. So you can always customize what you want here. You can even add your email address and say, oh, I do not know this at this point. You can email me at so and so email ID. All right, so that would be something a bit generic. All right, so that's what you need to put here. So but for the purpose of this, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So next you have the instructions. So this is a little prompt that is displayed on the front end that you can customize if you know how it works. So if you have superior prompt engineering skills, you can go ahead to actually prompt your bot to perform better or to perform in a certain way. All right, but if you do not have superior prompt engineering skills, you can leave this as it is and it has been prompted to work effectively. All right, so next you have the visibility option. So you're going to select public so that your bot can be visible. So as you can see, you can read the options here. When it's set to private, no one can access your chatbot via the shared link or the embed code. But then when it's set to public, of course it can be accessed. So I'll just set it to public. So next you have domains. All right, so this comes into play when you want to embed your bot on a particular website. So you need to add the domain up there so it's going to work effectively. All right, but for the purpose of this training, I'm going to leave that out. All right, and then I'm going to move to the next tab. But before I do so, do well to always click on save to save all of the changes we've made so far. All right, I will get the notification there that it has been successfully saved. So we'll move to the next tab, which is the interface tab. So right here we get to customize the look of our bots, and we have some more options I would like to walk you through. So number one, we have bot initial messages, and I'm going to give us a few examples. So when you actually visit the bot, all right, whether via the embed widget or via a link, this is what you're going to see. All right, like we said, then this is the display name of the bot, and then this is the avatar of the bot, which we are also going to customize, or which is also customizable. All right, so when a question comes, this is how the bot responds. All right, this is the interface. So we can now customize this interface to look exactly the way we want it to look. All right, so the first option we have here are initial messages. All right, and you can add a couple number of them. So what are initial messages? So initial messages are simply the first messages you want your bot to use to start a conversation. As you can see right here, hi there, how may I help you? All right, this is like the first initial message here. If you want your bot to say a particular thing to begin the conversation, then that is what you should add as the initial message. All right, so I think that is actually cool. So I'll just go ahead with that. Hi there, how can I help you? So this could be an initial message. And once you've added that, you just click on the plus icon to add it. And then once that's added, you can edit it using this pen icon right here, make your changes, and then you click on the checkbox to save. Or if you want to remove any of the added initial messages, you can actually click this option to remove. All right, and then you can add multiple. So I just added this one now. As you can see, it has been updated right here. So any changes you make to the view or the interface, you're going to be seeing the changes in real time, so you know exactly what you're doing. All right, so I could add that, and I could also add a couple more. All right, so moving forward, we have another option called suggested messages. All right, so what are suggested messages? Suggested messages are simply showing users the kind of messages or the kind of questions they could ask the bot. So in this particular case, and for this particular use case, all right, I would encourage you to use maybe your commonest FAQs. All right, what are the things that users always ask about? All right, so those are the kind of things you may want to use as suggested messages. So I could say pricing. All right, I could say pricing. All right, I could say money back guarantee. All right, so this could be another initial message, and as you can see, you can add multiple initial messages. All right, as you can see them coming up right here: pricing, money back guarantee. All right, so this is how it will come out when your bot is being engaged, and the user can simply come without typing. They could just select any of these options, and the bot is going to go into action to write them a response. All right, so I'm going to remove this one, and I'll just keep it simple. All right, so the next option we have here is auto show initial messages after seconds. So what you want to do here is to determine how long before the initial messages shows up. All right, how long before the suggested messages shows up. All right, so what you want to do is just to select the number of seconds. So this is actually in seconds, so I could say 5 seconds, and that's it. All right, and then if you actually make it 0, all right, or if you make it 0, it's going to come up immediately, and if you make it negative, it means you're disabling that option. So we're just going to maybe put it at 5 seconds. So once the bot is triggered, 5 seconds or 3 seconds, whatever, after the bot is triggered, the initial messages come up. All right, I hope things have been clear so far. All right, so moving forward, we have another very important option here, the lead capture settings. All right, so if you want your bots, all right, to be locked behind a lead gate, all right, it's simply as toggling this option on. All right, so if you want before a user engages with your bot, you want them to provide their email and name, then all you have to do is just to toggle this option on. All right, and it's going to enable the lead capture settings. So under the lead capture settings, we have the field for name and the field for email address. All right, you could leave this as optional, and if you want them to be compulsory, all right, if you want them to be compulsory, you just toggle on the required option. So once you do this, it means that before a user or a prospect or a visitor can engage your bot, they would have to provide their name and email address. All right, that's when these are toggled, when the required options are toggled on, right? And then if you want the lead capture gate to just be for the email only, then you can turn on this option. So this way, only the email will be requested, right? Only the email will be requested. But then if you want both to be requested, then you just toggle this back off. So I would always advise us to toggle this back off, so that for customer support purposes, you can easily get the name of the prospect you are dealing with. All right, so you want them to provide their name and their email before engaging the bot, so that way you get their name and their email. All right, with their email you can always reach out to them, and then with their name you know how to personalize the conversation where needed. And I'm going to show you some more options as we go. All right, so next we have the avatar option. So right here you can select an avatar for your bot. All right, so right here we have the Ethan avatar. All right, so right here you can select an avatar for your bot. So when you click on that, it's going to open up your local computer, so you can upload an avatar. So if you want to use your face or whatever, you can decide to select that option right here. And then if you do not want an avatar to show up at all, you could just toggle this on, and the avatar option will be hidden. All right, so I'll leave that on just to make it a bit more interactive, and then you could upload your image here and make it a bit more interactive. All right, and next we have the animated avatar. All right, so this is like one of the latest options in the AI bot tool. Alright, so what this does is that you have the option to select an animated avatar so that once a user or a prospect is engaging your bot, the bot responds verbally. Alright, the bot responds like it's like a conversation. The animated avatar reads out the response, so it's not just writing back to you, it's actually speaking back to you. And right here you could use any of our predefined avatar, or you could go ahead to upload your own custom avatar, which could be an image of yourself or whatever. All right, so once you upload, it's going to come up here as your avatar, so that any response the bot is writing out is also going to be speaking it out. So it's not just writing back to you, but it's also speaking back to you. It makes the experience more interactive, all right, and very, very engaging. So that's how that option works. So once you select this option, once you toggle it on, then you have to select your avatar, or you could upload one from your local device. And then when you do that, you're going to have to select an avatar voice because it's speaking back to you. So you'd want to select a voice for that. And then you also select the available animation. So do you want it to be gentle and slow in movements? Do you want to have funky movements? Do you want it to have a dance head movement or classic movement? So you select any of those options, all right, and you are good to go. All right, so the next option we have is theming. So for theming, you could either make it dark mode, as you can see right here, or light mode. So depending on what you want or what will fit your website, so that's what will determine what you select right here. But I'm just going to keep things simple still, and I'll leave it on light mode. So probably I could just select a female voice here, since I have a female avatar right here. All right, and then finally you have the option for trigger button position. All right, so this is the trigger button. It could be right and it could be left. So this is how it works. So it could be right or left. So if I leave it at the right hand side, it means it's going to come up like this widget I have right here. All right, or if I make it to the left, it's going to come up like this. So basically, whatever updates you make here, you're going to see it in real time. So it's really, really flexible and easy to use. And next, if you have the option for hide branding, you can simply toggle this on to hide branding, and you're good to go. So I'm just going to leave this at right, and then I'm going to click on save. All right, and I'm going to click on save, and we're going to give it a moment to save up so we can proceed. Awesome. So moving on, I'll go to the next tab, which is messaging. All right, so right here, since it's just a new bot, I do not have any data or information here. All right, but then I'll walk us through the other steps, and then I'll try to engage the bot so it can have some data to show here. Then I'll come back to show you what this how this actually works, and we have some really amazing options under the messaging tab. All right, so next we have the manage data tab. All right, so right here you can see a list of all the training resource you've used to train your bots. All right, as you can see, I added the marketingblogs.ai domain, and we have it right here, and training is still in progress. All right, and then you can click to delete a particular training resource, and you can also add additional. So this means you can actually train your bot with multiple training source. All right, and this is really useful because as I will show you, under the messaging tab, you can see a stats, or you can see details of the conversation your bot is having with different users. All right, as you're seeing those details, and take for instance, somebody comes to engage your bot and they ask a particular question which is not in the knowledge base or in the training source of the bot. So definitely the bot is going to respond with this response, what I explained to you earlier, when the answer is not in its training database, right? So but then when you come to your messaging and you are actually reviewing, you can see that, oh, this particular question was thrown at the bot, but the bot could not respond because that particular information is not in its training data. So in that case, you could come right here and add the answer to that information. So it helps you to update the knowledge of your bot. All right, so if there are more recent FAQs that are coming up and it's initially not in the knowledge of your bot, you could always come right here and add them up so that your bot is well updated, and when that kind of question comes up subsequently, your bot will be able to respond. So like I said, you could manage your training source right here, you could remove, you could add new, and all of that. And next you have the share tab. So right here, you could grab a share link for your bot, or you could grab the embed code. So with the share link, you can simply grab, and then when you load it up, or maybe put it in a bot thing, it can be clicked and it's going to bring up the bot as we're seeing right here. It takes just a few seconds to load up, and your bot is live to engage, as you can see right here. So before I go ahead to engage the bot, we're going to come right here to see the embed. So with the embed option, right, you can actually add your bot as a widget. So what I mean by a widget is something like this that you have right here. So you can embed it as a widget on your website, so that when people or visitors come to your website, they can easily engage the widget and converse with it to get hands-on and on-demand answers to their queries. All right, and then when you share it as a link, it's going to display like this. All right, but before I engage the bot, I'll just like to walk us through the other options. So we have the leads tab. All right, and now the leads tab is also empty, so I'll probably go to a previous bot that is already populated with data, so I can show you what we have under messaging and what we have under leads. So but before I do that, I'll just go ahead to integration. So under integrations, we have 3 categories of integrations. All right, we have the chat integrations, we have the data source integrations, and then we have the autoresponder integration. So starting from the autoresponder integration, now when you enable the lead gate on your bot, all right, it means it can collect leads, all right, names and email addresses. All right, now you could actually connect that to an autoresponder, right? So it's automated. All right, so if you want to maybe set up an automation in your CRM or something, all right, to maybe ignite a sequence with everyone that chats with your bot, then you can simply connect your autoresponder, so that once anybody comes to engage with your bot, their information is automatically sent over to your autoresponder. All right, and then maybe the automation can be triggered or whatever. So this is really awesome. All right, this is really cool. All right, so you can easily connect these. So simply, and we have a couple number of options right here. All right, so you could use any of them, your preferred. All right, and then moving on, we have the data source integration. So how does this work and what is this about? Now, you've trained your bot with a certain level of information. All right, that information could be updated. Let me use a very cool use case. Take for instance, you have a newsletter series, right? And then you wanted to train your bot with all the previous episodes, so that users can always engage with the bot, ask it questions, and based on its knowledge, it can always respond to answers to questions and all of that, right? Now, take note, the bot has been trained with all the previous episodes till date. Now, in a week time, there will be another episode. In another week time, there will be another episode. So you could either come here manually to always update the knowledge of your bot, or you could use this very cool data source integration option. All right, either through Notion or through Zapier, where you can get your bot automatically updated. So as new newsletters are coming in, they automatically sync and train your bot, so that your bot is always up to date. So we have a detailed training that shows how all of these are done, all right, and they are available in our video academy. All right, how to integrate Notion and how to integrate Zapier. All right, so that's how that works. So it's really, really cool, all right, to automate things and make things run on autopilot. And next we have the chat integration. So how do these work? All right, so this is more of content distribution, right? Once you connect your WhatsApp or your Telegram or Messenger is still in the works, so it's going to be pushed live in a couple of weeks, all right, once it's approved by Meta and all of that. But then your Telegram works pretty fine, and WhatsApp as well. So you will connect your bots to any of these chat apps, so that your users do not necessarily need to come and click on your bot link or come to your website to engage your bot. So right from WhatsApp, they can easily engage your bot and get all of the responses they want. So this is really powerful when it comes to content distribution. So you actually make your bot accessible in their preferred chat apps. All right, so these are some of the options you have that are really, really cool in the AI chatbot, and I wanted to walk us through everything one after the other. All right, so moving back, I'm going to go back and try to access one of my old bots that's already been populated, so I could actually explain some of the options we have under messaging and then under the leads tab. So I'll just click back, and then I'm going to engage one of my old bots. So let us see what we have right here. So I'm going to come to, okay, this is also a pretty new bot. I'm going to come to this option. Awesome. So we're going to click on messaging, and let's see if it's been populated. Awesome. So as you can see, the messaging option has been populated, and interestingly, I have very cool information to share with you right here. So as you can see, under messaging, every single engagement with your bot is actually recorded. So that's why it's very powerful for customer support. All right, so everybody comes to your website, they engage your bot, they get on-demand response. All right, they get responses on the go. All right, and you can come right here to read through the conversation and say, okay, this was asked and this was asked. All right, and if you actually did implement a lead gate, you can as well go ahead to contact any of the customers via their email shared. All right, and now another thing I want to say right here, as you can see, some of the engagement are tagged anonymous. All right, the reason this is tagged anonymous is because at a point this bot was set not to collect the name of those chatting with it. All right, it was set not to collect the name of those chatting with it. All right, that is why it's tagged anonymous. That's why I'm encouraging you, if you're using this for customer support, you could as well actually enable the lead gate so that the name and email address are actually captured. So that way, all right, so that way you could have something like this. All right, as you can see David, as you can see John Fringe. So I can easily tell, okay, John Fringe chatted up, and this is the email address, and this email address is actually captured as well on the lead tab. And then if my autoresponder is connected, it's also sent to the CRM automatically. So I can come right here and see the conversation John has had. All right, I can come right here and see the conversation David has had. All right, so if I'm reviewing my chart and I see any question that was asked that the bot could not respond to, then that will inform me to know what to add to the knowledge of my bot so that it can answer it the next time that question is thrown at it. Does that make sense? All right, so you could review this maybe once a week, once a month, once a day, depending on the engagement you're getting, to actually get a hang of what's going on and all of those stuff. All right, so you can see right here. Now, as you can see also, it shows David is offline. So you could also catch any of your site visitors online, and when you do that, I'll show you some cool options you could actually use with them. And then right here you have some tabs. You have all, then you have the unread tab, and then you have the control tab. So what is the control tab? Now let's move to that. So take for instance, you come right here and you review your bot, and you see the conversation with David, and you say, okay, everything was answered good and fine. You could easily click on resolved. All right, to show that, okay, this particular conversation, the bot handled it all fine and it's all good to go. All right, you can click on resolve. All right, but then if you come over to another chart and probably you catch John online, because it's going to show online if the person chatting is actually online, it's going to show online here. All right, and you're seeing the conversation, and probably the user is somebody that is trying to converse with your bot and trying to get some information, trying to make a buy decision. All right, you could use this option right here called control. So I'm going to release control. So actually it was controlled. I'll take it back. So it was actually on control. So if you come to control, you're going to see that this chat is actually being controlled. And what does that mean? It means you're putting the bot on pause and you're taking human control of that conversation. So if you actually catch a chat online or a prospect online, and they're asking some questions that you really think you could jump in to maybe make things more engaging or what have you, or probably the person is trying to purchase and maybe is asking certain questions that are not in the knowledge base of your bot, you could as well just come right here, take control of the conversation, and the bot responses are going to pause, so you can actually take control and respond to the customer. And when you're doing this, the customer is not actually going to notice this because everything is actually handled from the back end, right? So you could actually do that, and when you're done and you want the bot to take over again, you can click on release control, and the bot is going to take over again, and any question asked going forward is going to be responded to by the bot. How cool is that? So this makes it really, really robust, and this is something you want to put to practice. So you can review the conversation, you can review the messages, and it will inform you on what your customers are asking, how the bot is responding, what questions and answers you need to add to your FAQ or to the knowledge of the bot to make it more robust, so it can answer those questions when they are thrown at it another time, and all of those information. And next, you can also delete a conversation, which is pretty handy sometimes. And next, I was going to talk about the leads tab. So when you go to the leads tab, you're going to see the details of everybody that has opted in. So like I was showing you, John did and David did. So before this point, the bot's lead gate was actually turned off. So the name was not being collected, the email was not being collected. All right. So at this point, it was turned on. So that's why I have these two opt-ins right here. So when you go to leads, you're going to see that information, the name and the email, and then you're going to see the time they opted in and all of that. All right. And you could click here and export as CSV, right, or delete or whatever. And then you could also connect your autoresponder. So when I click on this option, it's going to take me to the integrations tab to connect my autoresponder so that the leads can easily or automatically be sent to my CRM depending on the case. So I could manage these leads. I could either export it, all right, or I could delete it, or I could send them to my autoresponder. So this is basically how the bot function. If you want to use to set up a go-to all-round 24/7 customer service, all right, system for your business. All right, and then I'm going to show you one more thing before we call it a wrap. How do you embed this on your website? So when you come to the share option, you can actually grab the link, and then you can actually engage the bot via a link. So this one can be useful because you can actually put the link beneath a button, so somebody can come to your website, click on a particular button, and then the bot will be triggered. So as you can see in this particular bot, hey, I'm Emily, you can ask me any questions about this, that. All right, these are initial messages, and then these are suggested questions as I demonstrated earlier. And now it's asking me for my name, and I cannot engage the bot until I provide this because it was actually set to compulsory, like I also showed you earlier. All right, so just to make the training not too long, I'm going to go ahead now to show you how to embed this on your website. All right, so let's see how to embed our bot on a website. So to demonstrate this, right, I'm going to actually do this using one of my marketing blogs websites. All right, so like I said, there are two ways you can do this, because we have the share link, which we can use with a button, and then we have the embed code, which you can use to actually embed the bot as a widget on our website. And I think that one works pretty well when it comes to customer support, so that when people come to your website, they can have a widget that they can actually engage to get answers on the go. All right, now I actually have another tab open here to access one of my pages on marketing blogs, but then I'm going to show us how to deploy the embed code first. But to do that, I'm going to take you back to the beginning, right? So I'm going to come back to the general tab. So when you scroll down, you're going to see an options for domains. So I mentioned this earlier. This comes in handy when you want to embed your bot on a website. So the description makes it very clear. Domains you want to embed your chatbot on, all right? So your chatbot visibility must be set to public, all right, but can be embedded on website for this to work. All right, so now it's already set on public. So what I need to do right now is to add the domain of the website. So if you want to embed this on your website, you would have to first and foremost add your website right here. It's really simple to do. So I'll just show you how to do it. So first, I'm going to try and quickly grab the link to my website. So I'm going to click on copy right here, come back here, and then I'm going to put my link of my landing page in there. All right. And once I do that, I'm going to click on add domain. So once I do that, it's added. So once you do this, do not forget to click on save to save the update. All right, click on save to save the update. So I have that added right there. So the next thing you want to do now is to come to the share tab and grab the embed code. So once I do that, I come back to my pages and then I'll edit the page. So follow me closely. So this works for any kind of website too. All right, so all you just have to do is to grab that, add the domain, first step. And the next step, go to grab the embed code and you place it either in the header or body section of the website. So in Marketing Blocks, it's really easy to do. All you have to do is to edit your page, click on settings, and then you scroll right here to access the custom script option. So once you do that, you have the header, you have the body, and you have the footer. So we'll just place that right in the header and then we'll click on save. Mind you, the instructions are right there. To add the AI bot on your website, copy the embed script and add to the head or the body. Alright, so that's what I've just done and it has been saved successfully. So what I need to do is to go back and now we're going to preview the site. Alright, so I'm going to click on preview and let's see what we have. So this is the site, right? And awesomely, this is my widget deployed. All right, so I can click on it to bring it up. So I can clear, right, and close the widget, bring it up at any time, engage with it. So let me engage with the widget. So I could say Davidson, I'll send that in, provide my email address, I'll send that in, and now I can engage with the bot. All right, so I can say what's Expert Summit. Emily is typing, all right, and it's going to respond to me. How cool is that? So on demand, all right, on the spot support without human effort, all set to respond to your users 24/7 round the clock. All right, so this is pretty awesome. So if I come back to my bot right here, all right, I'm going to show us, okay, let me go to messaging and I'm going to click on refresh. And as you can see, you have Davidson and my email address right there, and you can see the conversation. All right, come right here, you can see the conversation. What's Expert Summit? All right, and you can see the conversation. All right, so how cool is this? So guys, you can actually deploy this in your business, all right, to cut down cost, to increase efficiency, all right, to cut down cost and to increase efficiency, cutting down cost and increasing efficiency. So this bot is super effective when it comes to handling and automating your customer service. So like I said, another way to deploy this, all right, you could actually add this beneath a button as your button link, so that when that button is clicked on, it's going to open up the bot. All right, so that's about it for this training. So for those of us that already have a website, I'd want you to actually put this to work in your business. All right, put this to the test. All right, set up the bot, train it with your available resources. It could be your knowledge base, it could be your website link, it could be a PDF that has all the information about your business, your offer, whatever the case is. All right, and then you train your bot and you embed the bot right on your page so that users and visitors can come and get support on the spot without having to email you first and wait for hours for response. So your turnaround time will be seconds, literally seconds. How cool is that? So let's put this to work in our business, guys. All right, if you have any questions, do well to put it on the comment section. Support will provide a response. All right, so thank you and thank you and thank you. So I look forward to seeing you putting this to work in your business. All right, I'll look forward to your feedbacks on this. Thank you for watching this training. Do have a beautiful day ahead. Bye bye.